All right, everybody, we're going to take just a second as everybody starts rolling in. If you were looking for the checklist, I didn't have them up first thing this morning. I had a tech issue on my side where something I did didn't save, and so I rebuilt them really quickly. They are there. So if you are a printer and you want to print them, you can find them in the training guide. You can find them in the chat, and you can also find it in resources. So if you open your Zoom resources panel, the link is right there as well. So I'll give you guys a moment if you want to get those queued up. I love seeing everybody all happy on a Monday morning in the chat. I'm like wishing I had a few more of these sitting beside me. I need a little bit more caffeine. I may have to, like, during the work time, run downstairs and find my energy drink out of the fridge. Ben, when you're ready, if you want to pop in, we'll get going here in just a second. Hi, good
Good,
morning, good evening.
good evening, everybody.
Where are you at right now, Ben?
I am in Athens, Greece right
Still
now.
in Athens, aren't you?
Still in
Where are you
Athens.
going next?
Headed to Naxos for a couple of actual holidays. So I won't
My
be joining
gosh.
everybody for the next boot camp, but I'll be back on Friday.
Yeah, they're gonna have to tolerate my instruction on Wednesday. Why, guys, you better not drop your attendance numbers. That's gonna make me feel bad. Oh my gosh, too funny. All right, I feel like our numbers are kind of starting to level out, which tells me we probably have a good amount of people who are coming here. So let's get cracking. Thank you for being here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on a Monday morning for our third and final week together. It's exciting. It's kind of sad. This has been a blast. I felt really good day after day after day. Like I'm doing some good here, giving some people some things that they need. That will be sad to see it go. So please feel free to send me emails every now and then. Let me know how you're doing, what you need. But this has been great. I'm happy to get started on workshop number 6. If you are navigating, trying to figure out where we are in things in the training guide, head on down to workshop number 6. Okay, let me get my screen queued up to the right slide before I share it. Here we go. Boom. Okay, behind scenes today. I actually have to apologize because I am missing. You know what? Before I go into presentation mode here, we're going to, there. Can't lose credit. Sorry you don't have your own tile. You'll get a share. I apologize, Erin. Behind scenes, helping for the duration of the workshop today, we have Jade and Chloe, Erin, Scott, and Ken. They will be behind scenes answering all those Q&As before they come in. So many, many, many thanks to them. They are not on screen getting the credit they deserve, but they are 100% like contributing in a very positive way to making sure that you're getting the answers that you need so that you can really make the dots connect while we're together. So much appreciation for everybody backstage. Also, do I have this? I don't even have this in presentation mode. Hold on. Let me change this so it doesn't like blow out your screens because the Brent strikes back. Thank you, Brent, for being with us. I hope you're there somewhere. If you're there somewhere, hold on, let me get my webinar started. If you're there, yes, there he is. Hello, Brent. I see him in the chat. Appreciate you being with us again today. Still love getting these. I can't wait to hopefully get 2 more. You've been amazing. All right, you spoke, we listened. Guys, we only have 2 sticky notes today instead of 3 or 4. Granted, I know the 4th one has been kind of a sham the past few times because it was just silly, but you spoke, we listened. Here are a few things that came out of the last workshop that we pivoted on for this one. Please turn comments back on the Q&A panel. We did. But with that comes a caveat. The reason we turn them off is because when you ask a question and we answer it, it literally moves out of our Q&A panel and it gets slotted onto a different space for us that it says answered, and it gets buried in everything else. So then when you comment on your initial post, it doesn't get surfaced for us to see again. So if the Q&A panel goes dormant, we can pop over to the answered and do a quick check to see if anybody's followed up. But if the Q&A panel never goes dormant, you don't see your follow-up comments. So we did turn them back on for you, but I do want you to understand that if your follow-up doesn't get answered, that's why. It's not because we're skipping you, it's because literally Zoom moves it out. That's why we turned off comments, but I turned them back on. And so if you have a follow-on question that you definitely need to get answered, our suggestion is that you provide new context and repost a new question so that it definitely gets put in front of us so we can answer it. But this hopefully will serve everybody's needs. Another thing, why can't I start a new convo with Finn? I had the same sentiment. I would look for that start a chat, and I wanted a new thread so that my threads were like clean topically. So we went in and we had a little talk with Finn, and we're like, dude, let people have more conversations with you, please. So now you can have multiple active threads or conversations going with Finn so that you can jump into the one that is relevant and keep that conversation going and keep each thread topical so they're not mixed and buried in each other. So hopefully that helps as we keep moving forward. All right, the laundry list. Those of you that have been with us since day one, go refill your coffee, take a bio break, whatever you need. Let's go over the stuff for the newcomers to our workshops. First off, chat. I know we're all used to using chat. Please know chat is social. You are more than welcome to answer questions in chat. Just know that it is a kind community member that is going to respond to you if they have time and if they're watching the chat. I like to think of chat as your social space to talk to your friends and make comments and have a good time. But if you want our product experts to address your question, please pop that in the Q&A panel. Those of you that get annoyed with Zoom because you don't know where that Q&A panel is, please, our best advice is just wiggle your mouse around all over Zoom because it likes to shrink the toolbar until you mouse over it. Zoom Events tells me that for your viewership, it's on the right. Mine is on the bottom, and sometimes mine gets moved to the top. So that's the best advice we've got is just wiggle your mouse around. It's a super technical solution, right? Like, did you restart your computer? Did you clear your cache? My question is, did you wiggle your mouse? All right. So from there, if you're new to us, we're please asking that you ask Finn first, right? Ternbot Fin first. We can't field every question that pops into your mind, but we want every question that pops into your mind to get answered. So if you could ask Finn first, he's probably going to give you a phenomenal answer. If he doesn't, will you please move your question into the Q&A so that we can tackle it from there? That'll help us make sure that every question every one of you has gets answered. Trials are already extended. I did receive a few more emails over the weekend saying like, hey, is my trial going to expire? We extended them all until I think the 28th of August, so that anybody that was in boot camp and on a trial would not have it end while in. We gave you another week past our last workshop for you to continue exploring on your own. What else does that leave us with? The training guide. The training guide is in the chat right now. I do believe Scott's on top of it. He literally just dropped it again. Training guide's right there. There's a QR code you can scan on your mobile if you want to, if you need quick access to it. It's also in the resources, which is in your Zoom toolbar. So if you can find the Q&A panel, there should be a resources button also. Those are all the places. I must apologize now. I was late getting the checklists up. If you've been watching the chat, you know that. If you haven't been watching the chat, I had some kind of a tech error where I must have done something in one tab and it didn't save to the other, and I closed I don't know what I did, but my checklists went away. So I rebuilt them this morning. They are posted. They are ready. They are not maybe as polished as they usually are. I tried to work as fast as I could while Chloe did office hours to make sure they were printable. They're good in the training guide also. So both places, they're good to go. So whether you're a printer or you're a training guide checklist person, they're both good to go. Okay, and that brings us to the close of the laundry list. Now let's get started on our day. Let's start with a recap, right? Let's get in the frame of mind. Where did we leave off so that we can pick right back up? Last time we focused on how to eliminate invisible work, boost your efficiency, and save time by using forms, templates, and content that already exists in the library that you didn't even have to build in the first place. We learned how to create forms that we could use and reuse. That's the critical part, right? To gather information from our customers. We learned that Tern will automatically create a trip when a customer fills out a trip request form, and we'll drop it right on your dashboard. Done. Additionally, when somebody submits a contact form, Tern will either create or update an existing contact with their responses, all reducing the work that you have to do. And after we wrapped up forms, we moved into templates, how to find and use them from your own library as well as shared libraries, and how to create them from scratch. But also how to turn your existing work into a template after the fact when you realize, oh man, I'd like to reuse that. I wish I'd have built it as a template. No big deal, just push a button, right? There it is, it's a template now. Because let's be honest, you don't always realize something should have been a template until after you already put in the work. But we've got you covered. Okay, so that's what we did. What Friday? So here we are today. We're diving into group travel. The whole day today is group travel, but you're going to learn some really good things, even if you don't use group travel. There may be some things in here that you can really bring into your workflows that could be beneficial. We're going to walk through how to create a group itinerary, how to build landing pages and sign up forms, which you may still find valuable even if you don't do groups, how to manage individual travelers' sub trips once they do sign up for that group trip, including we're going to talk about what's going to carry over from the group trip and what doesn't. So when you start to customize your sub trips, you know what's going to pull down and what's going to push up. We'll also cover how to add an insurance policy to a trip. And this will apply to regular trips too, not just sub trips. It's just the context that we're going to use today to teach adding insurance. Okay. So I do believe um, with that, it's Ben, you're up.
Excellent.
Yay.
I'm really I'm really excited to talk about the group travel feature because it's Tern at its finest. It saves you so much time. So first things first, before we even start to talk about how to make a group trip, you need to decide if the group trip is even right for like the right approach for your travelers, for how they're traveling. So a group trip is really ideal when you want traveler privacy. Each traveler only sees the group landing page and their individual sub-trip. They will not be able to see each other's itineraries. There are firewalls kind of between the travelers, so each traveler's information is kept securely separate. Other than that, we have our regular trips, which we've been working on, and that's better for when travelers want transparency and are comfortable coordinating payments and perhaps they're using partial payments so they can kind of log in and pay their portion. This is the most crucial and critical kind of first decision. So take a moment to think it through and don't worry. If you start down the wrong path, templates let you save your work and switch your flows later. So once you've decided that a group trip is right for the travel that you're planning, you want to outline what items should apply to all travelers. These will be included in the group itinerary. So here's a breakdown of kind of how this all works. You publish your itinerary to a landing page, then your traveler will go in and sign up. Their subtrip is created as an exact copy of the group trip itinerary and is populated directly into your trip dashboard. Now, this is important. Any edits to the subtrip will not flow up or change that group itinerary. And once that subtrip exists, any changes you make to the group trip will not flow down. And that's because those subtrips are considered already customized. So one more really good call out before we dive in is the more you build up front, the less manual subtrip editing you're going to need to do later. This is especially important when it comes to lodging. Because your rooming options are kind of baked into the group trip, you'll keep room assignments centralized in one group view instead of kind of scattered across all of your subtrips. This is a huge, huge time saver when you coordinate a big group trip. Karina, I'm going to take over the screen share and we're going to
I,
jump right in.
hold on, can I keep it for a minute?
Sure, you got
Okay.
something to go back and check off?
Well, I just wanted to make sure everybody noticed. Like some people may have been on your screen instead of my screen, since, anyways,
Mm,
yeah, so what I was just sharing with you is built into the training guide because these are like three really important concepts. So instead of, I didn't want to just have the checklist available for you, I wanted to have a little extra support available. So these right here are what I was just sharing with you. So if you hit that expand button, those are great little reminders when you circle back and you need like a refresher of those like key concepts of group trips. Also, I think it's very important that we share that it is not only is Brent doing all of these awesome things to lift our spirits and have these fun pictures available for us, and not only has he been with us since the beginning, but he's right here with us today. And it just so happens to be his birthday. So I would like the chat to blow up right now, if you don't mind, with happy birthdays to Brent. He's brought us a lot of smiles over the course of this entire boot camp series. So happy birthday, Brett. Thank you for spending your birthday with us. It looks like I'm seeing a picture right now with a fabulous hat that reminds me of Dr. Seuss. Not sure if it's a Dr. Seuss hat, but I'm loving it. Love that you're here. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. Okay, Ben, I'll go quiet. Thank you.
no, that is amazing. Happy birthday to Brent. That's awesome. Okay, let's get into it. Here we go. Let me start my share. All right, so we've decided we're going to work on a group trip. Um, you're going to start creating the group itinerary, and to do that, just as always, we're just going to start a new trip. Move something out of the way here. So here we are on our dashboard. I'm going to zoom in just a bit because I know we kind of like that. There we go. All right, up in the top right corner, we're going to start a new trip. And for our training purpose, I'm going to call this our group trip demo. And just to the right, we haven't toggled this yet, but we have our trip type. So we're going to jump in here and we're going to make a group trip. So we're going to, just as always, kind of for our purposes, we're going to add dates later. We're in our planning stage and we're going to create our trip immediately. So, oh, add dates later, got to click that. There we go. Perfect. So from here, you can build a fully customized group trip. Remember that everything you add to this group trip will get copied into every traveler's subtrip, so put a lot of planning into this phase. For learning purposes and to save time, we're going to actually just pull in an itinerary template, which we've done before. So I'm going to jump directly into the itinerary on the left, and I'm going to pull in our itinerary library right into day one. So I'm going to go into the Tern community library, and we're going to search for Iceland small group. And we have one already planned and ready to go. It's a little slow on the upkeep here. Let's try this again. I'll re-enter it. Well, I know it's right there, so I use, there we go. The search bar wasn't working for me. I'm not sure why that's happening, but I found it. I know which one we're working on here. Excellent. So I'm going to add this itinerary directly into our group itinerary. Now, you may have to accept or update the dates before pulling the template in. And if this occurs when the trip you have doesn't doesn't align with specific dates of the template. So, oh, let's refresh here. There we go. That's what we're looking for. So I'm just going to click update here and accept those dates. So as this is uploading, before any travelers sign up, you want to get the group trip as perfect as possible. The guiding principle here really is that add everything to this group trip that you want to be copied into all of those sub trips. So save you tons of time later. So don't forget, this includes lodging, especially lodging. This is so you can track room blocks, availability, and assignments from the group itinerary instead of having to juggle them from each sub trip. So this manually will be tracking everything right there. So let's edit this itinerary we pulled in to better reflect our client's requests. For starters, this template included specific dates and we need to change them.
Hey
So,
Ben, just wanted
hey,
to hop in really quickly. It looks like most people weren't actually able to access the itinerary from the community. So just wanted to give 1 second for everyone to get caught up there.
Well, and I already reached out to support and
Okay,
asked them
great.
for some help. So since we're in demo
Okay,
mode right now, if we could kind of pause, let support have a moment, and then hopefully by the
great.
time it's hands-on practice and they need to get into the library, hopefully support will have things squared away by then.
Sounds great. Okay,
Thank you.
excellent. Thanks, Jade. Yeah, great call. We'll have time to dive into this and pull in the itinerary template that we're working with in our hands-on time. But for now, let's just kind of go in and as I was mentioning, we want to change a couple of things to customize this for our travelers. So let's just start with changing the dates. I'm going to click into here and edit the itinerary directly from here. There's a couple of things I also want to change here. I want to change the date, perhaps the names and the description of this trip, because again, we copied this from a template. We want to make sure it's ours. So the first thing I'm going to change here is the name of this. So I'm going to change this to the Johnson Family Reunion, Iceland. And then since we wanted to change the dates, just to show you how we do that, I'm just going to add it to next year. I like to choose the ending date first and alter that, then go back and change the start date. So I'm changing those here. Perfect. We have our cover photo, which looks great. Now you'll have access to the description in your checklist, and I'm going to copy and paste that and change that description for us just so we have this on our itinerary. So I'm copying and paste this. This will be in your workbook, so you can kind of get practice on how to do this. All right. And then once again, we want to update our itinerary. This is where we want to, this isn't auto saving necessarily, so we want to click that save button and update our group itinerary. Perfect. So now that we have this itinerary in here, this is when you want to comb through that entire itinerary, opening each item component as well as every tab in the left-hand toolbar. When you start opening components for this trip, you're going to notice that the pricing tabs show that they're part of a package, and this is intentional. So I'm going to show you that now by opening this lodging event and going to the booking and pricing tab. And that's where you're going to see this. We have individual item or part of a trip package. Now, we're teaching package pricing in this boot camp, but this is a great way for you to explore it in action and start asking Fin and Ternbot Fin like questions and reading help articles in the event that you want to use trip packaging. So going back to my itinerary on the left toolbar, I want to explain that once a traveler signs up, their sub-trip is going to be a snapshot of this group itinerary at the moment. Future edits to the group itinerary will not retroactively update to that sub-trip. I'm going to say that a couple more times because I really want you all to remember that it doesn't flow down. So I'm going to pass it off to Karina and we're going to go into our work time and hopefully support has kind of fixed that group travel trip from the community for all of us to use.
All right. So support has already reached back out to me, and it looks like things are working on their end. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat once you go into hands-on time to see if you're experiencing something different. But it looks like it was a very temporary glitch that just all corrected itself. I will need some data if that's not true, and we'll tackle it. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, so I'm going to recap like a few key callouts. Again, I know Ben already talked about them, but like through reiteration we learn, right? Through repetition we learn. So when it comes to group trips, those three key concepts, right, is I'm going to actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to share those cards back out just so that you have a visual instead of just my face talking. I think that for those visual learners, that would be more helpful than just my voice. Okay, so here we go. So for starters, you don't want to just jump into a group trip format, right? Because with that comes some pros, but also some limitations, right? You'll want to understand the traveler's preferred visibility and payment considerations before you put up the firewalls that come with group trips, right? Some groups will benefit from isolated sub trips and payments, where others will feel a little disjointed, right? So every group is different. Every group wants something different. So that's that question that you want to ask and have clear conversations with whoever your group trip coordinator is before you jump right into a group trip. It's important to remember. So I'm going to move down here now. Let's take a look at this. It's important to remember what does and does not flow down from the group itinerary into the sub trips. So for starters, just think of that group trip as a template. Every sub trip that is created, whenever somebody signs up for a sub trip using your self sign up form, the group trip, however it looks at that point in time, is going to get duplicated pretty much as a template. That will become a sub trip. At that point, there's no more two-way communication, right? Things from the sub trip are not going to push up into the change the group. Things in the group trip are not going to push down and change existing sub trips. They are now separate things. The only like communicate, well, I don't want to say the absolute only communication, but the primary communication that's going to happen is just if you set up lodging in the group trip, then that's where you're going to get to manage it all and kind of see your room block availability and who's assigned where. But changes in the sub trip are not going to change the group itinerary and vice versa. Okay, so I think that's a really important thing to really keep in your mind. And that's why we want to put a lot of time and attention into building that group trip first and then understanding later, like, even if everybody in your trip wants to extend the trip by day, or everybody in your trip decides, hey, we want to go on this activity now on day 4. If the sub trip's already created, you're going to have to go put it in those sub trips. That's intentional to protect any customization efforts you've put in from getting just erased by something pushing down that didn't need to get pushed down to everybody. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to call out is that lodging, like I just mentioned. If you set the lodging options up in the group trip, you'll get to track and manage it all there. You'll set up all of your blocks, all of the availability, all of the pricing, everything in the group trip before sub trips start. And then as everybody makes their selections and their sub trips, you're going to get to see it all reflected in one central location, reducing your workload. We will take care of it all for you. We will keep it tracked up there for you so that you're not manually trying to monitor your availabilities, your room assignments, your block, what's left in it, what's consumed. Like, you won't have to do anything, right? So that's a super, super big call out, is not to overlook the value of a thorough lodging construct inside your group trip. Okay. Now, one final mention, let me close this out. Move over here. One final mention. We had you use a template that incorporates package pricing. I know Ben called that out. I want to call it out again. And asked you to use it. We're asking you to use it as an opportunity to explore package pricing because we didn't choose to bring package pricing into the boot camp. Not everything could make the cut because we felt like 8 workshops in 3 weeks was like the most that we could ask of you to devote of your time, and we can't show you everything, but we chose this one intentionally so you can like reverse engineer and like see what is something that's already been put in package pricing look like. And then if it's something you're interested in, I literally have asked Finn, like, give me a step by step. Like, I'll ask him, like, tell me the pros and cons of package pricing. What are the most frequently asked questions? Can you give me a step by step guide? Like, I literally just have him baby step me through the whole process. So, if you want more on that, it is available. There are also help articles. And I wish I could have got everything into boot camp, but this is at least a way for you to reverse engineer one more call out. Okay, so I'm gonna let's see what the update is on the library. They're on it. We got an alert. They think it was just because of a spike, everybody trying to pop in at once, but they're saying it should be working now. So hopefully now that we're in hands-on time, you'll be glitch free. So those of you that gave us an early heads up, thank you for that. We should be back on track, which means it's time for me to be quiet and let you dig in and play with your group itinerary for the next, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes. I'll assess the time here in a minute. I will pop back on for a 1 minute warning as usual. Um, please, if you're new with us, don't feel like you're supposed to get through the whole checklist in this. This is just like some hands-on while it's fresh to build a little muscle memory, not to finish the whole checklist. All right, thanks guys. I'll be back here shortly. All right, everybody, we are back. All right, so once your group trip is created and the itinerary is ready, the next step is going to be to build your landing page so travelers can learn about the trip and sign themselves up. So I'm going to hand it over to Ben so he can show you not only how to create the landing page, but also how to create that trip sign up form so that some of the work is done for you just by having it simply filled out. Okay, all yours, Ben.
Thank you, Karina. Awesome. So the landing page is kind of like your storefront for this group trip. It explains the trip, it builds excitement, and it lets your travelers sign themselves up, which reduces tons of admin work for you. So you can see that our group trip has been populated directly onto our dashboard here. So I'm going to dive in there, and we're going to open our landing page on the left. You're going to know you're in a group trip page if it has this landing page. Your regular trips don't have that. So here's our landing page. So building this page is pretty simple. You fill out the requested information, you add your engaging images, you could add videos, you can add clear trip details, and any other special highlights into here. Now for this one, I'm gonna add the Johnson family reunion, and we're gonna make it Iceland. Just title that one to start. Now I'm gonna use that same description that you have access to, because I want to see what it looks like actually on our landing page. So I'm just going to copy that description here. This is going to go on your landing page and on that individual itinerary. So next thing we need to do is set up our self-service sign up so that anyone who visits your landing page can jump right in and start their own subtrip. So over to the right, you're going to see this self-service sign up. So this automatically creates a subtrip when the client fills out your sign up form, and they'll also make room selections and be able to authorize payments and all that when they're ready. So here's the button for that. And I'm just going to label that sign me up. Excellent. So going down here, so now you can kind of customize your sign up form, and we won't necessarily have time to do that. So I'm going to show you the sign up form here. You've seen lots of these things before on your forms template pages. So you can customize this sign up form, but as I mentioned, we won't have time to dive in that today. So since we already covered that earlier in the workshop, instead, let's head back to that landing page on the left. Now, the last thing we really need to do once we've added all these images and edited our sign up page is to enable the sign up. We got to allow them to actually do it. So clicking here, you can see the buttons here. And turn that on. We also down below have this custom call to action button that I really wanted to point out for you. So a custom call to action, or a CTA, is an optional kind of secondary button you can add to your landing page that links you to an external URL of your choice. So you can use it to direct travelers to additional resources or contact methods, like maybe you have a wedding website or registries that you want to add to this, or your email address directly, so so they can email you directly, set up a conference, or any relevant external page there. So once everything looks good, it's time to enable. You look for the upright, which I actually already did. I kind of jumped the gun here and enabled it early, but you really want to make sure everything's buttoned up before you do that, and you turn that on. So this landing page is actually now active. However, before you actually go and share this with your client, you want to preview it to make sure that it's polished, accurate, and traveler friendly. So we haven't built ours out too much, so it'll be pretty bare, but it's still worth a look. So I'm going to preview this landing page and see what it looks like. So really here, we're just looking for clarity, accuracy, and appeal, right? Once everything looks the way you want it, you'll publish the group trip and include that, enable the landing page in your self-signup. So I'm going to go back to our page there. We've previewed it. Everything looks good. And I'm going to publish up here in the right corner. At this point, you'll be given both the itinerary and the landing page links. See, we have a copy itinerary link and a copy landing page link. So you may notice like that no email actually popped up here, just those links. And that's because group trips are essentially templates and don't have travelers. So you want to grab that link and head over to your contacts. I'm going to copy that link. You can see it's been copied. Excellent. And I'm going to email this landing page to our primary contact for this group trip. So let's go find them in our contact list. So up top, I'm going to jump into contacts, our top toolbar. We're going to locate our traveler. And I think Karina wants to go on this trip. So I'm going to throw Karina in there, see if she wants to go. And
Yes,
up in the
please.
top right corner here, you're into it. All right. So up in the top right corner, we have the email button. There we go. So we're actually making an email directly from our contact page here. And you can write your email in here, drop your link directly into here. Iceland bound. Excellent. And you're good to go. Click send. So Karina is now going to get that email, and you can see it's directly in their contact page of emails. So simulating your traveler's sign up ensures that the process works smoothly and gives you insight into what they're going to experience. So as a part of your checklist, you're going to be asked to actually access your email and sign up using the landing page link, and then return to Tern to see if that subtrip has been created. So let's give that a shot. I'm going to hand it back over to Karina, and she's going to give you instructions on how to get your landing page published. Well, Karina, I think you're on mute still.
Well, let me start saying my words over. I was gonna take a quick pause because there was quite a bit of chatter in the chat about how do I change the dates. If I just want to show you, when you get there in your checklist, that is in this section right here, edit your group trip. There's a step-by-step right here that's going to tell you how you can change those dates. But I thought due to the volume of questions that it wouldn't be a bad idea if I just showed you again, because I do realize you get shown a lot of things. And it's easy if you're trying to do the hands-on during the demo. I know some of you learn better that way. It's all your call on how you do it. But if you miss like a little step, it's hard to get caught up. So, uh-oh, I messed up my share. Okay, so right here, when you're in the itinerary of a trip, right here in the three-dot overflow menu, you can edit that's where you like edit at the itinerary level, right? So we go in, and this is where we can change the dates. If you're ever in Tern having trouble changing a start date, change your end date first, right? Because they're not going to let you start a trip after it's already ended. So a good just habit to get into is put the ending date where you want it, and then you're going to have the freedom to put the start date anywhere ahead of that ending date. So right there, that's how you're going to change your dates. Again, let me show this again. So I'm in an itinerary. I want to change the trip dates at all. I come in, I edit at the itinerary level. I change my ending date first, and then I change my beginning date. I didn't save it, update the itinerary. That's why my date changes didn't take place. And maybe that's a something like that makes me wonder, did I put that in the checklist? Did we hit update? Update? Yeah, update's down here. Okay, just wanted to make sure I didn't lead you down a path of failure. I'd feel so awful if I did that. Okay, so I'm
And
gonna,
Karina, I just
yeah.
wanted to jump in. When you're editing those dates, I think some people are running into like a grayed out calendar view. If you are running into that grayed out calendar view, yeah, again, like Karina did, you can just edit the dates directly with the years. And you do need to like select the date and click update. That was the only other thing, but you covered that. So just make sure, yeah, if you're running into the trouble there, it can be related to the end date and having to change that first if you're seeing those grayed out dates. But you can always just edit the dates, using your keyboard too up at the top.
And here's the visual of what Jade's saying. So right now, I can't set any of these dates because they're after the end of the trip. So that's what she's saying. If we go into that end date first, nothing's grayed out. Like everything before the start date is grayed out, right? So if we want to open up that beginning, that's where she's saying if you can fix the grayed out by starting with your end date. There's a visual for it. I should have done that while you were talking, but I could kind of caught up to what you were saying midway through.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay,
That
cool beans. Okay, so here we go. Topic two. And then let me stop. Well, it's okay. You don't need to see my face while I talk. I think a lot of you are hands-oning right now anyways, and I don't blame you because I would want to also. But I want to do a quick recap for people that it really helps to have that repetition. In this section, we took your completed group trip, right? In the first topic, we completed a group trip and we turned it into a traveler ready experience. Then we learned how to build and customize the landing page, and Ben showed you how to enable self sign up. And the benefit there is when a traveler fills out that form, the subtrip is automatically created. It's automatically added to that group trip as a subtrip, and it's automatically added to your dashboard. So much less work for you to do. We then in this section walk through previewing and publishing, right? So that we have a good polished product before we share that link out. And we talked about how can we share that out. Finally, what we are going to ask you to do when you catch up to this point, whenever you have time, is to go in and view the landing page as a traveler, right? Using your traveler profiles email or an incognito window and signing up for it. Because I want you to see like what it looks like. Like I want you to see the magic, right? Sign up for it. Pop back into Tern and see all the work that was done while you were doing, nothing with it, right? Your travelers are essentially doing the work for you. Okay, so it's time now for me to shush and let you get in there and keep digging around. So I think we're queued up. Yep, we're on topic two here. Again, there's more in the training guide. And that's it. That's all I got for you. Here we go. All right, we are back for our final cycle today. So we're going to move on to subtrips. Subtrips are traveler-specific itineraries that are copied, right? Just exact duplicates of the group trip at the point in time at which they are made. And once created, they are independent. Changes in one won't affect the other. Changes in the subtrip won't change your group trip. Changes in your group trip will not change customized subtrips. This makes it easy to customize without a risk. So in this next section, Ben's going to show you how to view a group's subtrip, manually create a subtrip, right? Because maybe you're not using self sign up, or maybe you have a customer that's struggling and you don't want them to struggle, and so you just take care of it for them. And also, he's going to show you how we can add insurance to a trip. And this isn't just specific to group trips, right? You need to add insurance to regular trips too, so that skill will be transferable. The process is the same whether it's a sub trip or a regular trip, because essentially sub trips are regular trips. Just once they're duplicated, they're fully customizable and work very very much like a regular trip. So Ben, if you are ready, it's all yours.
I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, and Karina called it out. This one we're going to kind of cover a lot of ground, so I want to make sure that my pace is good. So I'm going to kind of slow my roll a little bit. We're going to dive into one area, then go into insurance and come back. So that's how our flow is going to work here. So as you can see, all of your group trips will be populated directly to your dashboard and also on the group overview page. You can see here it says they have one sub trip created. So I'm going to jump into our group trip. And right here in our overview tab, we have, you can see the sub trip that we just created. So Karina's going on this Iceland trip, which is fantastic. They signed up, they're ready to go, they're into it. So we're gonna open up Karina's sub trip here by clicking anywhere in the table. You can see it highlights. So this will dive right into their sub trip. So notice that the sub trip has two bookings, each for the same price and supplier using the template or when, pardon me. So each one has two bookings, one here and one here. Each for the same price and the supplier, but when you use this template, it's critical to review that every detail that to make sure that it is the way you want it to look. So let's click into the bookings tab on the left. And notice we have two of the same trips there, two trip packages. I'm going to open both of those packages to see kind of what's in there. And you can notice that one of them actually has all of the events and the other one just has the package. There's actually nothing in there. Yours actually might show the pricing there. So this one doesn't have any pricing. It's just all of the events. And one is a collection of
Ben,
those trip components itemized.
Ben,
Yeah. Mhm.
if you so you added me as a traveler, but not my email, so it just hasn't recognized my profile yet. If you add me with my
Oh,
email, then it'll put some prices in there, which might make this a little more,
let's do that. I'll go back
yeah,
to our itinerary here, our overview. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
yay. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Here, let's add Karina. I know they're in my, there you are.
I'm there. You've made a lot of trips for me.
That's
Now, if you
true.
could just send me on them, please, Ben.
Yeah, I wish. I wish I had that ability. There we go. There's our pricing. Perfect. Thanks for the heads up, Karina. So I'll jump back into that booking so you can kind of see those two trip packages again. We'll kind of review that. So here we go. They both have the same pricing, but as I mentioned, one of them's kind of blank and the other one here has all of the items for the itinerary kind of logged in there. So the original advisor who made this itinerary may use this practice on purpose, but if I don't need or have a need for these shell package, I can delete that package right from the three dots to the right of the package. So I can delete that one here, confirm that I want to delete that, and we're good to go. So we're calling it out again. I have just made a change to a subtrip. Remember that the group trip will have still have those duplicate bookings because the things that we do in a subtrip don't change what's in the group trip template. If you want to remove the second booking before more subtrips are created, you can just jump back to that main group page and make the adjustments there. So once in your subtrip area too, you can use the group button up here at the top left of the toolbar to get out of your subtrip and return to that group. Let's use that now. So I'm going to go back to our overview page. So now that we have one trip in there, we're going to shift gears just a little bit and kind of talk about adding insurance to a trip. So just keep in mind that insurance is managed at the sub-trip level and not necessarily at the overall group trip level. So I'm going to go back in and open that sub-trip for Karina here. Perfect. And to add insurance, you could use this insurance tab in the left-hand toolbar. I'm going to click into that. Now, as soon as you come to this manage options page, it's gonna show you that you have two options for opting out. You can either decline to insure and opting to buy insurance elsewhere. So that's all for client view, and the add option to purchase is just above all of that. So we can click onto this button and add an option for our travelers. There we go. So once we open this, the supplier ID and the quote number fields are directly on the top of the page here. So we're going to use Allianz as our supplier here. And I'm going to drop that in. We're going to need to name the top of the form. So I'm going to say this is Allianz One Trip Prime. Oops. And we're going to need to add the policy documentation to this. So we need to add a policy. We've kind of seen something that looks like this before, where you can either use a web link or a file upload to do so. And in your checklist, you're going to find the web link that I'm pasting to Allianz terms and conditions here. So I'm just going to copy this and drop that web link right here. Add insurance policy. So I've pasted that in, I've added the policy, and as I said, at a minimum, you got to have a title, you got to have the supplier and your pricing and a quote, or and your pricing here. So let's say this one is $300. Perfect. Maybe a quote date, we're going to say that we're creating that today, and I'm going to add a quote number. 2, 3, 4. Now this is just for training purposes. You're going to want to make sure that you go through all of this information, entering the correct information anytime you are providing an insurance option for your clients. So at this point, you'd continue filling out the requested information, but we have enough to continue for the demo. So let's return back to the insurance options. There's a couple things we need to do. So I'm going to go back to the insurance here. So if you'd like to, you can add multiple insurance options. I know that this is a great way to up your commission, so give as many options as you want to here by clicking the add insurance option and just repeating that process. Before insurance will be added as an option, you must indicate that it is ready for client view by using the toggle button in the top right here. Okay, so we're going to toggle this on, which means this is going to be ready for client view. And at the bottom, it says travel insurance settings are updated. Don't forget that you need to publish your changes you've made before sending that itinerary to your client. You can see that the red dot's going over here. And it's important here to keep the traveler experience in mind. So this is a great moment to open that itinerary link as the traveler and see how it looks when that insurance option is added. You're going to have time to do that in your hands-on time. All right, now that we've covered insurance, let's look at one more scenario you might run into, and that's creating a subtrip manually. So sometimes you need to manually create a subtrip on behalf of your clients, and to do this, you need to go back to your group trip overview page. Oops, got to go use this group button here at the top left to get back there. That was just the subtrip. Here we go, perfect. So in the subtrip level, you have the option to add a new trip from here, from your overview page. So right here, I can manually add that new trip. And here's our new trip. So this is still going to be the Johnson family reunion. And I think it's good on these subtrips. They're all going to have a similar title, but adding the last name of the traveler family or any kind of indicator that separates them from the rest of the group is a good here. Karina likes my dog Agador, so he's going to travel with her on this trip. So leaving the dates alone, I'm going to add dates later, create my subtrip here. And again, we need to manage our travelers as we did before, which is so we can get that pricing to show up. And Agador is definitely in my contacts here. There you are. Oh yeah, Agador at bestdogever.com. Adding them as a traveler, primary contact for this one as well. Excellent. So All you have left to do is publish and share this subtrip so you can start working through the customizations with your traveler. You can publish up here, and alternatively, you could open this self-group sign up and kind of sign in and in an incognito form and complete this as traveler. So either you can build it directly on your page, or if you like the flow of going through kind of the customer experience, you can sign in and go in that way and complete it for them using their email. Now it's time for you to try it for yourself. So back to Karina, and she's going to get you started.
All right. There was some chatter that we were monitoring, asking more about how to view the trips in your dashboard. There are, let me bring you in here. Here we go. So before we send you out there, we'll just clean this up a little bit. You have the ability to use a filter, right, to show what you're displaying. So you could use a trip date to filter all the way down to only the group trip and its subtrips. You could filter right here. You could only show the subtrip level or only show the group trip level. Like, so if you want to really hone in on kind of cleaning off your board and just getting to what you need faster, we could apply those filters and then voila. So I know we've showed it before, but you haven't, not all of you have been able to come to all the things, and we're showing you so much that I'm sorry for those of you that I'm interrupting your hands-on time. But I just wanted to point this out, like at this point in time, because this is a great time, hopefully for this filter usage on the trips dashboard. So hopefully that helps a few of you. So I'm going to flip back here. And let's move to topic 3. And then I'm going to do my usual recap. So what we just did. So we focused on working with subtrips after they were created. We started by opening a self-signup subtrip, reviewing its booking, cleaning something up that maybe we didn't catch in the group trip, right? Because at the group trip level, there were no travelers, so it showed as $0. So it probably didn't flag anything. But as soon as you made that subtrip, you're like, oh man, I missed that. Because now I have 2 packages, both priced $2,500. What's going on there? Let me fix it, right? So what we did is we stripped it out of the subtrip, and then we're hoping that when you go back to the group trip, you're going to see it still there. So this is a kind of a little exercise in building that muscle memory and that habit, right? That habit of really checking when we use templates for what's in there. And then as soon as you catch something at the subtrip, you change it at the group trip level, new subtrips are going to be correct, right? It's just the old ones that you're going to have to go in and fix. All right, so then what do we do? Did we do anything else, Ben? Like, I'm lost in just like the recap of getting to that point, or do we stop right there? I think that's where we stopped. Okay, so it is time for you all to get some hands on. We've got plenty of time to give you, we're going to probably have about 8 minutes or so, and then I'll pop in with a 1-minute warning. All right, here we go. All right, so this is workshop 6. And those of you that have been with us from the very beginning, who were here at workshop 1, you know that there is somebody who attended all of the first 6 workshops live that was going to be drawn as the winner of a free cabin on our Tern user conference coming up here in September. And we have drawn that winner. We had figured out who had been to all of the workshops so far and compared that against our roster today and had a random name randomizer draw. And if you could answer in the chat, I think I opened you up for talk, but I don't know if I accurately made it so you could speak. I tried, and I'm going to mispronounce your last name. Please forgive me, but Robin Vanderveer, are you here? If you have the ability to unmute, or if you can hit up the chat and let us know that you are here. I'm watching the chat. There's a lot of congratulations. It's going so fast, guys. There she is. She's here. Congratulations. You have an entire cabin aboard our cruise. And if anybody wants more information about the cruise, it's already in your turn because it is the New York City to Bermuda cruise that we use to build out your cruise today. That is the cruise, the Tern user cruise that Robin will be joining us for in September. Thank you, Robin, for being here. And not only Robin, I wish every single one of you that spent the time to come be with us in the mornings for 3 straight weeks now. I wish I could give you all a cabin. I'm blown away by the attendance and how great you've all been. So thank you so much, Robin. I can't wait to meet you. I'll be there. Please come find me so I can say hi and give you a hug. If you're a hugger, I'm a hugger. Thank you guys. It is right on the top of the hour, and I pride myself on not of being respectful of your time and not pushing past your limits because I know some of you have meetings. So thank you so much. I wish we could stay on and do more. In fact, I'm going to leave us on for like 2 more minutes for anybody that can stay and share the congratulations. The rest of you, please feel free to bounce. I know you have meetings at 11 and obligations. Thank you again for being here. I will see you on Wednesday. You're going to hear a lot of my voice Wednesday. I'm presenting, and we will do tasks and automations on Wednesday. It is more of an advanced workshop. So if you're not ready, it's okay. I will post the recording. I will keep all the materials up and you can tackle it when you're ready so you don't have overload right now. If you're ready, I can't wait to see you on Wednesday. Thank you so much, guys.